All right, my people, so we are back and we are ready to start making our book. So in our last video, we talked about making a storyboard to represent our sequence of events. I did making a cake, so I talked about getting everything out of the fridge, mixing it all together, pouring it in the cake pan, and then finally baking it in the oven. So again, we talked about how this could be where it ended. You could color this, have fun with it, no problem. But for those of us who want to actually make it into a book, let's talk about some materials that we could use. So some of us might still have some paper floating around our houses, and others of us might not have that option. So some options are to use just some plain computer paper. Other things are, if you ask your parents, typically a lot of us get some junk mail. This is mail that we really don't want to have to deal with, and a lot of times that mail has other envelopes that come inside of it. So if you tell your parents, hey, I would love to have your envelopes when I'm done, or when you're done with your mail, don't take it from them. Always ask. They can give you this paper. And if you look back here, there's a whole nice section for drawing. A lot of these have larger areas where you can create your books, or on the back, they don't have any details on them. So you can use that to create your book as well. So you'll try to find, if you're using envelopes to create your story, try to find ones that don't have a tear in them, like this, that are maybe openable, or that when they were opened, you use like a letter cutter or a letter opener so that you get this nice big area. And also try to find two that are the same size. That can be really helpful. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work with these two because they're the same size. I'm going to just go ahead and fold that down. Honestly, if you want to use some tape and just tape that back down, or glue if you have it, don't worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to line these two things up, and I'm just going to fold them in half. And what I've noticed here is that as I've folded these in half, one's a little bigger than the other one. Well, that's okay. I'm fine with it. If you really want to, you can take a pair of scissors, and I'm reaching for my supplies right now. You can take a pair of scissors and you can trim them up. But it's your choice, and make sure that you keep your workspace clean and you throw these away. So now that you have your book ready to go, I'm going to look and see it, and here will be my first page, my second, third, and fourth. Now wait a second, there's still all these other pages. If you want to add additional pages, you can. Also, some of us are going to run into envelopes or things like that where there's like maybe a part where you can see an address. If that's the case and you don't want to deal with that one, cut it off. Don't worry about it. Make sure you put it in the trash. So now when I look at this, I have a page. So I have a front cover, then I'd have page 1, page 2, 3, and 4. Look, I'm ready to go. So some of us have glue at home, some of us might have tape, scissors. Oops, I apologize for making so many sounds. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some tape, and I'm going to open up my tape, and again, make sure that you are asking your parents before you start using their supplies, because they might have those supplies designated for something else. A lot of us aren't leaving our houses, and a lot of us don't want to have to go out and buy new supplies. So please ask before you take. Okay, so what I'm doing here with this tape is I'm going to tape half of, so I took out that middle piece, and I'm putting the tape so that half of it is on top of the piece of tape that I was using, or the piece of paper that I was using, and the other half is sticking off. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it right here in the middle. I'm actually going to fold my tape up just like that, and then I'm going to stick it down right here. And there we go. I have a book that can now flip. And I taped it to my other papers. Talk about not keeping my workstation clean. Okay. So now I have this extra little piece of tape, and I can fold it down just like that. So on my front cover of my book, I might want to write a title. So maybe it's How to Make a Cake. And maybe I want to be really creative with this. And I'm looking at this right here, and wait a second. Hold on, creativity time. There's a window in my cake in the oven. Maybe I want to use this extra piece of paper that I had and make an actual cake to show that finished product, just like what we saw here when I drew it, and stick that inside of my envelope. Okay, so now I realize that I should have taped it, but this is a learning experience. It's okay. It's okay to be creative and have to redo things. No big deal. So once you have your book assembled, so those of you who are using Mail or something like that, you now have spaces to draw on. So you take that story and you translate it. So the first one, this first piece, the opening up the refrigerator, would go right here. So I'd start to draw this, and I'd look at my details, and okay, so I have the opening of the refrigerator, and then I also drew my counter, but maybe I drew my counter too close last time. Maybe I need to make a change and really figure out what I want it to look like. And I'm going to make it smaller as it gets farther away. That's why those shelves look like trapezoids. We've talked about that. The illusion of depth, so D-E-P-T-H. And I'm going to draw the back of the door. And then we talked about how there was an egg carton I was going to get out. And there was a jar of sauce, but we weren't going to get that one out. And then the milk that was down here. All those good details. And then the milk jug handle, just like that. So that would be my first picture. And then my second picture would go here. So this one. Third picture. Fourth picture. And then finally my back cover if I wanted to add those details. If you'd like to, and you have coloring supplies, go ahead, color. If you want to paint this, have fun and paint it. If you have questions, honestly, send me an email. I'm more than happy to talk you through it. All right, my people. Oh, wait a second. I was about to sign off without actually talking about how to do it with regular paper instead of just mail. So, regular paper, let's go over here. So, normal piece of computer paper. Easy things here. We're going to take it, we're going to fold it in half. And honestly, I'm just going to rip it because you guys can cut it. And then I'm going to fold it in half again. Now when I do this, just like with the mail, I have a front cover, I have page 1, page 2, and a back cover. So now I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to fold it in half. And if I leave this paper whole, what happens is I have page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That might be more than what you want. If you want 6 pages, keep it like this. If not, go ahead and cut it. I'm going to rip it just to make it a little bit faster for the video. And now you have page 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then this becomes your back cover, and this becomes your front cover. If you have a stapler and you'd like to staple down the spine, totally fine. If you have tape, you can tape it down. If you don't have either one and you just have paper, leave it like this. That's fine. You can also, to keep it secure, do an extra fold and then do a fold backwards. So I did a fold forward and back, and now it's sticking together without using any tape. It's your option. Again, we talked about how to use junk mail, and we talked and envelopes, and how to use actual paper. If you have questions, let me know. I look forward to hearing from you.